Tonight, the UK finds itself at the heart of a dramatic weather battle, a true clash of the elements. On one side, mild, moist Atlantic air is surging in from the west, bringing with it the promise of cloud and dampness. On the other, cold, dry continental air is pressing in from the east, determined to keep temperatures low and skies clear. This invisible tug of war is setting the stage for a night of striking contrasts across the country. The Atlantic air, warmed and humid from its long ocean journey, keeps western regions shrouded in cloud and relatively mild. In contrast, the continental air sweeps across the east, bringing a sharp, biting chill that settles over fields and towns. The difference is so pronounced that you can almost feel the boundary between these two air masses as you travel across the country. Where these air masses collide, the weather becomes anything but predictable. Instead, a patchwork of conditions forms. One moment you might see sunshine breaking through, the next, a blanket of cloud or a sudden drop in temperature. It's a vivid reminder of how dynamic and changeable British weather can be, even within a single evening. In the southwest, you'll feel the full, mild embrace of the Atlantic, with overcast skies and a gentle breeze. Meanwhile, the east and north are bracing for a frosty night, as the cold air settles in and temperatures dip sharply after sunset. The contrast is striking, and it's all happening within a few hundred miles. By dawn, the temperature difference could be as much as 8 degrees Celsius between the far north of Scotland and the tip of Cornwall. In some places, you'll wake to a landscape dusted with frost, while in others, the grass will still be damp from overnight drizzle. It's a true north-south divide, shaped by the battle of these air masses. This ongoing tug of war means your local weather tonight depends entirely on where you are. For some, it's a night to keep the umbrella handy. For others, it's time to scrape the frost from the car in the morning. The variety is as wide as the country itself. For many, the evening will begin mild under a thick blanket of cloud, but as the night deepens and those clouds start to break, temperatures will tumble quickly. The change can be sudden. One moment you're comfortable, the next you're reaching for an extra layer. Where skies clear, any warmth from the day escapes rapidly into the atmosphere, setting the perfect stage for frost to form. Under the stars, the temperature can plummet, leaving lawns and windshields sparkling by morning. The result is a night of two halves, mild and damp for some, sharply cold and frosty for others. It's a weather story that plays out differently in every corner of the UK, making tonight's forecast one of the most varied of the season. This classic British weather divide is a powerful reminder of how geography and air masses shape our nightly forecast. From rolling hills to coastal plains, every region feels the impact in its own unique way. So, whether you wake to drizzle tapping at your window or a sparkling frost glistening in the morning sun, remember, it's all down to which air mass wins out where you are tonight. The Great British Weather Divide continues, shaping our nights and mornings in ways only this island can. London and the southeast begin the evening shrouded in a blanket of gray, damp skies with temperatures hovering around 8 to 9 degrees Celsius. The air feels heavy and cool, and the city's usual energy is subdued by the persistent drizzle. Pavements glisten under the streetlights, and umbrellas become a common sight as people make their way home. Light drizzle and murky conditions will make for a dreary and slow commute, with headlights reflecting off the wet roads and a general sense of gloom settling in. But the real change in the weather is set to arrive after midnight, bringing a noticeable shift in the atmosphere. As the drizzle gradually clears and the clouds begin to break apart, the warmth of the day escapes into the night sky. This allows temperatures to drop sharply, falling quickly down to just 2 degrees by dawn in many areas, especially away from the city center. Expect a light ground frost to form in rural areas and parks, with icy lawns sparkling in the early morning light. Central London, however, will stay just above freezing, thanks to the urban heat island effect that keeps the city a touch warmer than its surroundings. Don't be fooled by the relatively mild evening. A crisp, cold morning is on the way. As the sun rises, you'll see your breath in the air and feel the chill settle in, especially if you're heading out early. Windscreens may need scraping, and the air will have a definite winter bite. Gloves and scarves will be essential for the morning rush, as the cold will be sharp and unmistakable. The shift from damp to frosty will be sudden and striking, so prepare for a chilly start. Surfaces that were wet in the evening may be icy by morning, making for slippery pavements and frosty windscreens. Even in the milder south, winter's grip will be felt by morning. So, whether you're in the city or countryside, be ready to bundle up and face a brisk wintry dawn. In Manchester, Liverpool, and the Midlands, thick cloud dominates, keeping the night mild and damp. Evening temperatures hover around 7 to 8 degrees Celsius, with only a gentle drop to 3 or 4 by dawn. The Atlantic air mass holds firm, blocking the colder continental influence and preventing frost. Expect a gray, chilly start, but no widespread ice, just wet roads and lingering drizzle. For drivers, visibility will be reduced by spray, so keep your distance and check your wipers. The Midlands mirror this pattern: mild, cloudy, and uneventful, with little risk of frost. The main concern is dampness, not ice, making for a gloomy but manageable morning commute. It's a night where the Atlantic's mildness wins out, keeping the cold at bay. Scotland showcases the sharpest contrast tonight. Glasgow stays mild under Atlantic air, with temperatures dropping only to 3 degrees. No frost expected. Edinburgh, further east, cools more sharply, risking frost in the suburbs as temperatures fall to 2 degrees. Aberdeen feels colder with a brisk wind, but the coast avoids a hard frost. In the Highlands, clear skies and cold air combine for a hard frost and icy patches, with temperatures near zero. On the highest peaks, expect sleet or a dusting of snow, a true taste of winter. Travelers should be ready for rapidly changing conditions, especially moving from west to east or into the Highlands. Cornwall and the southwest remain the UK's warm corner tonight, shielded by mild Atlantic air. Cities like Bristol, Exeter, and Plymouth see evening temperatures of 8 to 9 degrees, dipping only slightly by dawn. Frost is no concern here, just dampness, patchy drizzle, and perhaps some Mr. Fog in sheltered spots. On the Cornish coast and Isles of Scilly, temperatures barely change overnight, staying at a balmy 8 degrees. The difference with the freezing highlands is striking: an 8-degree gap by morning. Residents here enjoy a spring-like night, with no need for de-icers or scrapers. The main feature is moisture, not cold, perfectly illustrating the Southwest's maritime climate. It's a gentle, damp night, worlds apart from the frosty east and north. Yorkshire and the northeast are set for one of England's sharpest overnight temperature drops. Evening starts mild, but as continental air pushes in, temperatures fall to 2 or 3 degrees by dawn, prime conditions for frost. York and Durham will likely wake to sparkling, icy scenes, with car windscreens needing extra attention. Newcastle stays a bit milder thanks to the North Sea, but outlying areas still risk a touch of frost. The initial mildness is misleading. By morning, the cold will be widespread. Drivers should watch for icy patches, especially where earlier drizzle has frozen. The advice: expect a frosty start and plan extra time for travel. The region's weather flips from mild to wintry in just a few hours. Wales, East Anglia, and Northern Ireland each tell a different weather story tonight, painting a vivid picture of the UK's ever-changing climate. As darkness falls, the differences between these regions become even more pronounced, setting the stage for a night of contrasts. In Western Wales, the air is mild and damp, with a persistent drizzle keeping the streets glistening. Cardiff, the capital, will see temperatures dip to 4 degrees, raw and chilly, but just warm enough to keep frost at bay. The rain may be inconvenient, but it spares the region from icy roads. Meanwhile, East Anglia is in for a much colder night. As the skies clear, temperatures in Cambridge are expected to fall sharply, reaching just 1 or 2 degrees. A widespread frost will settle in. transforming the landscape into a sparkling, icy scene by morning. Early risers in East Anglia will need to grab their ice scrapers before heading out, as frosted windscreens and slippery pavements will be a common sight during the morning commute. Over in Northern Ireland, the story is different again. Belfast remains under a blanket of cloud, keeping the night cool but not cold enough for frost. Temperatures will stay comfortably above freezing, making for a relatively mild night compared to the east. These sharp contrasts highlight the UK's complex weather patterns: damp and rainy in Wales, frosty and clear in East Anglia, and cloudy but calm in Belfast. Each region faces its own unique set of conditions. For travelers crossing from one region to another, it's wise to be prepared for sudden changes. The frosty surprise awaiting drivers in the east could catch some off guard, especially after leaving milder or wetter areas. Tonight's weather is truly a patchwork, shaped by the ongoing battle between different air masses. The result is a landscape where no two places experience the same conditions. There's no single story that fits all. Local conditions are everything, and tonight, the UK's weather is a true mixed bag. Tuesday morning's main challenge: frosty windscreens in cold spots like Inverness, York, Durham, Cambridge, and Edinburgh's suburbs. Allow extra time to de-ice. Use proper sprays and scrapers, never boiling water. Once driving, beware of glare from the low sun, especially on frosty or damp roads. Sunglasses help. Main roads may be gridded, but side streets and shaded areas could still be icy. Drive with caution. The previous evening's drizzle and heavy traffic made for poor visibility. In future, consider traveling after 9 p.m. when conditions improve. Prepare your car. Top up screen wash. Check wipers and lights, and clear debris. These small steps make a big difference for safe winter driving, whether facing damp evenings or frosty mornings. Stay alert to changing road conditions. Safety starts before you set off. After Tuesday's frosty start, the UK's weather shifts again as milder Atlantic air takes over. By Wednesday and Thursday, temperatures rise into double digits, but the trade-off is more cloud and rain. Western regions will see the heaviest rain, while the risk of frost and ice fades. Drivers should now watch for wet roads and reduced visibility from spray, especially on fast routes. The outlook is classic British milder, but damp and gray. Air travel remains unaffected for now, with all major airports operating normally. Still, check with airlines for updates, as stronger winds and rain could bring changes later in the week. The weather's always shifting. Staying informed is your best travel tool.